I know we've run a little long, so I'll cut mine a little short, but unfortunately, I have to go through the PowerPoints to get to John. Um, but this is my first 6:15, and the idea was to give you kind of teaser that if you were thinking or praying about possibly going to seminary, we would give you a little sense of what might be in store for you or what you might benefit from to come to the seminary. I heard a quote today from the president of Harvard that I thought was surprisingly insightful, and that was that a college is doing a good job not if you learn a bunch of things, but if you are set up to learn and to cope with life for the rest of your life. That if a college has taught you how to keep learning and to keep adjusting, then the college has succeeded. Not just by transmitting knowledge to you, but by teaching you how to fish, so to speak. Not just giving you fish, but teaching you how to fish. And really, Wesley Seminary was designed with the idea of teaching you how to do the work of the ministry. And so, since I'm a Bible head, I thought, well, what could I talk about that would give you a little sense of a tool that you could learn off of here at seminary. And I thought of a very scholarly tool that you've all probably already used, and that is Blue Letter Bible. Now, they had their priorities right when they built this building. The bathrooms are working, the internet is not yet. Up until 3 o'clock today, we thought we might have internet, and so what I did is I took snapshots of the internet, which is just as good, isn't it? I don't know how many of you have ever heard of Blue Letter Bible. There's plenty of stuff out there, and you've all heard of it, so I'll just move through real quickly. You of course, there's all kinds of software. I mean, it's so easy to be a scholar today. Even I can get a doctorate degree. 20 years ago, you had to have a library and remember where, or a good organizational system might have been completely sunk. But today, Google, I mean, good grief, we can learn anything we want with Google, and a lot of stuff we probably shouldn't. There are so many resources that are available for us. So I use Bible Gateway. If I'm in a hotel and I want to know what the English Standard Version, I go to Bible Gateway, and you can get any version you want. We do not require you to use a particular version here. If you're a King James person, you can use the King James in our program. We're not Bible snobs. And besides, 90% of it is the same. More than 90% of it is the same anyway. You can get saved on any version of the Bible, even the Message. Now, I go to the NASB for reasons I won't go into. Come to the seminary, we'll tell you. I'm not an NASB, but anyway, it's a Blue Letter Bible thing. Let's say you're reading along in Romans 12:2, and you be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may know the good and acceptable and perfect will of God. And you think, perfect will of God. What does that mean? I mean, there's not a lot of context to tell you what it means. It's just a list of words. What does it mean to know the perfect will of God? And you think, well, I'm going to do a word study. That's what you will hopefully think after you've been to seminary for a few weeks. So you type in Romans 12:2, and there it comes up. And I've drawn a lovely little arrow there to the C that stands for concordance. And lo and behold, there's Greek. But wait, I don't know Greek. It doesn't matter. You can use this tool to dig into the original Greek and Hebrew without knowing the original Greek and Hebrew. I think I should be proud of the fact that we don't require Greek and Hebrew. Some people want to throw tomatoes at me when I tell them we don't require Greek and Hebrew. But basically, you wouldn't invest in some investment where you lost 95% of your money before you even finished the class. And although I value Greek, I love Greek. Dr. Schmidt loves to quote me, nobody loves the irrelevant more than I do. There's just something about a subject matter that you forget 95% of it the day you leave class that doesn't seem like a good investment. So what we do have, and this gives you a flavor of the seminary, is we have a course called Greek for Ministry, and we have a course called Hebrew for Ministry, where you learn all the things that you would actually remember if you took 2 years of Greek and then forgot all the rest. So, but you can use Greek and Hebrew tools without actually knowing Greek and Hebrew. here we have the Greek at the top, which may look like gobbledygook to you, but that's fine because look on the left, there's English. You know, I'm a pretty boring person, but there are people even way more boring than I am, and one of them is Bill Mounce, who has a great deal with Zondervan. And see those little speakers on the right? He has gone through every Greek and Hebrew word and pronounced it for you, so that you don't embarrass yourself from the pulpit. Of course, your congregation won't know anyway, so go ahead, sin boldly. Those numbers there, the numbers there come from an even more boring person than Bill Mounce, and that's Strong. You all know Strong's Concordance. It's the huge thing that we had to use before the internet. Strong's lived in the 1800s. They didn't have TV, so he basically spent all of his time numbering the Greek and Hebrew words. But if you click on those numbers, it will take you to, there's the word perfect finally at the bottom. So if you click on that 5046, look, there's the Greek word that stands behind perfect. If you go to the bottom, you'll see all the places where that Greek word is used, or if you were doing a Hebrew word search, there's all the places in the Greek New Testament where that word is used. Now, not every time you see the word perfect in English, it might not be this word. And so if you're not doing your study in the Greek, you may be having a skewed understanding of what it is. Well, I'll give you the rest of the story. There are a few places here where I have an aha moment. Look at 1 Corinthians 13:10. You know, the love chapter. Now I know in part, but when that which is perfect, in the King James, when that which is complete, complete, the fundamental meaning behind the word teleos in Greek is completion. I actually do not think that English translations should use the word perfect to translate it, because when we think of perfect in English, we think no mistakes, completely. That's not really what the Greek word means. The Greek word means complete. Matthew 5:48, be complete as your Father in heaven is complete. What is the context of Matthew 5 there? He says, don't just love your friends, but love your enemies too. I mean, what good are you if you just love your friends? Doesn't God give rain on the bad people as well as the good people? Therefore, you should be complete like your Father in heaven is complete, and go all the way and not only love your friends, but love your enemies as well. I have an aha moment by doing this word study on all the places where this word is used. So I think my personal hunch is that in Romans 12:2, where it says, know the complete will of God. Now, there are other meanings to the word. It doesn't always mean the same thing. Here's my conclusion. Most of the time, it means complete. But there's also a number of places where it says, where it has a sense of being mature or ripe. And if you have an NIV or some other version, it's already translated that way for you, trying to put people like me out of a job. But there is one place. I think there's maybe one place in the New Testament where perfect is a good translation, and that's in James 3:2, where it says, if anybody can control their tongue, that's a perfect person. So, plenty of things that you can do without knowing Greek.